Is everybody seeing the design store here?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
We're going to start here because these are the easiest files to use. They're already in the Silhouette Studio format, so you open them up and the cut lines are all there and everything else. And I signed in. I am. Okay, so where you want to start is free designs. Now you're going to see a whole bunch of things that I already own. They put out a free design every Tuesday. And then during the holidays, like the week before Christmas, they were putting one out a day. So there's all sorts of different things in here. When you go in here and you log in, if you go up to deals and free designs, you'll probably see quite a few that are available to you. I'm going ahead and I'm going to pick this one, this e-learning in progress. It says, please don't ring unless you have cookies or teach math. Pandemic humor there. With the free designs, when you bring it up, you can get the SVG. Now, in this case, it doesn't give you the commercial license for free. The file of the week, if it has a commercial license available, it will be free. But obviously in this case, it's not. So we're going to leave that alone. But if you have any intention on selling things, go ahead and get the commercial license. It doesn't cost you anything when it's the free file of the week. So it's certainly worth doing that. So I'm going to put that in my cart. And now I'm going to go over to my cart. And you'll see that it doesn't cost me anything. So when I check out, it's going to ask me for my password. So it's in my library now. When my library in Silhouette Studio syncs up, it will be there. You can also direct download, that is, save these to your hard drive or to an external hard drive. For the things that I get from Silhouette Studio, from the design store, I don't typically worry about backing them up until I've done something with them, because I can always go to my account and find, let's see, my designs. These are all the designs that I either bought or got for free, and they're all still here. And I can get them back if for some reason I lose one of them. I don't know how many are in there, but there's probably many hundreds of them. When you buy a machine, when you first set it up, you'll get a bunch of free designs will be uploaded to your library. But then the rest of these are just things I've either purchased or collected along the way. Let's see. So now I'm going to go over to Silhouette Studio.
Another question.
Yep.
First of all, is it okay if I just chime in and ask questions, or do you want us to wait?
No, that's fine with me.
Oh, okay. Can you save in both places? It automatically saves to the library. Can you have it on a hard drive as well?
Oh. Yes. Let's go back to the store here. Remember when I downloaded this free file and it said I purchased it for free, and it said it's in your library, but then I could have clicked on that button and said download it also.
Okay.
You can also go to back into Silhouette Studio now. There we go. And when I go to my library, these are my patterns because I was in that library. See, it says it now, it's syncing for me. So what that tells me is that when I go to recent downloads, there they all are. And thankfully that's the one I just did. Let's type homeschooling and search. Oh, it's not there. I'm going to go back and check what the name of that file was, because I don't remember. E-learning in progress. So, I got a new ergonomic keyboard.
There it is.
Boy, am I going to yeah, there you go. And so I'm just going to double click on that and open it. This is interesting. I have no idea why it's showing up twice. It's fascinating. As you see, this is all in one group. We're just going to ignore this bit of business over here. Like I said, I'll tell you, you get these things and you never know what they're going to look like. They may be stacked on top of each other. It's a great deal of fun. So let's say you want to make a sign out of this with 3 different colors of vinyl. Okay. Right now it's all in a group. So if I went to send, it's getting there. Let's see. Oh, well, I know that it's not connecting. Cut. It's on no cut right now, so I'm going to say cut. And I could cut it all out of the same thing if I stayed here. I'm going to go back to design, and I'm going to, this file is grouped, so I'm going to go up to the quick access toolbar and ungroup it. Now I've got a couple of options. I've got each, you can see this is an object, this statement, this phrase is an object, and this is automatically, this is one way you can tell is just move it. Once you do that, if you want to center it again for whatever reason, just undo it and it zips right back to where you were. I can do this one of 3 ways. I can leave it like this and change the color of the cut line on this. Go over to my lines, style, and let's say I'm going to make that one purple. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make this one black. And let's see if that worked. That's interesting. See, this is Linda doing things on the fly here. Let's see. That may be why. Let's increase that line. Yeah, it's there. It's just so thin you can't see it. So, and once I do that, once I've changed that, one way I can tell is if I go back to send and I say cut by line, you see how I have 3 different colors in here now? I can say, okay, the first thing I want to cut out is this e-learning in progress. So I can put my design, I can put my vinyl on the area of the mat and cut it out. I could at the same time cut out, let's see, not that one, the black one. So I could put the color vinyl I want for this right here and the color vinyl I want for that right there and send it through the machine at the same time and it'll cut both of them. Because this goes all the way around it and down the middle, that would be a little awkward to do. So I would do that as a separate file, but that's cut by line. So depending on what you get when you open up your file, that's some of the things you can do. You can also, of course, just move things to the side and put these, like for example, if it's easier for you, put it up there so you're a little more, it's easier to put the vinyl, chunk of vinyl on there right here. Then you could still do that with a different color and you'd have a pretty good idea of where you need to put it, as opposed to it floating out in the middle of the mat somewhere. When you're cutting with, whether it's vinyl or paper or whatever you're cutting, it's best if you don't put down a whole sheet on the mat unless you're planning on cutting out of the whole sheet, because it messes with the material, plus it takes some of the adhesive off the mat. And your mat will last longer if you don't constantly put down and take off materials. So there's really no good reason to put down an entire piece of vinyl if you've got a 12 by 12 sheet of vinyl onto this mat, if that's all you're going to cut out. Now, when you do this, you're going to put down a 12 by 12 sheet of vinyl. And you could certainly, this is still grouped. You could move this line if you wanted to. Honestly, I'd leave it there because when you go to layer these things, that way it's where you need it. So you like my big pink cursor now? That's a lot easier to see.
That was perfect that you changed the cursor because I didn't see like what you did. Okay, you brought the image in, but then how did you get the?
Okay,
How did you
I'll
get
go
my
through that
style?
again. Gotcha. Okay. I want to say one thing, and this is in one of the tips when you're using anything, even if you designed it yourself. Once you have what you want, when you start, before you even start messing around with this, my suggestion is that you save it with a different name. You can save it to the library. I'm going to go up to File here, and I can say Save As, and I can save it to my hard drive or to the library. Generally, files that I've worked with myself, I put on my hard drive now, just so I know where they're at, and I leave the originals in the library if that's where I got them. I also now have an external hard drive where I'm going to be backing everything up. But that way, when you go, because I'm going to tell you, you start messing around with your stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, this is cool, this is cool. And you go, oh darn, I really wanted to use that file to do this other thing too. And if you've made all these changes with your original file, I mean, if it's from Silhouette, you can go back and get it. But it's just a good idea to, when you open up the file for the first time, immediately go and save it either to your hard drive or your library with a different name, so that you're working on a separate file and you have that original for future use. Okay? What do we?
Oh, Tom asked, how do you line up the different sections?
I mean, when you're applying it to whatever, let's say I'm going to put this on a piece of wood. One of the things you can do is I just drew a rectangle. I'm going to fill it so we can all see it a little bit more. And I'm going to just duplicate that and drag it over here. And yeah, what you can do is, this needs to be cut out with each layer. So in that case, if that's, something I want to do, I'm going to tell you, this one you can probably eyeball. I'd put down the circle with the line through it, and you can probably eyeball it. For the things that require a little bit more precision, you can use these registration marks. And I'm not going to go into that too much tonight, but we can certainly talk about that during another class, or we can, if you go to my Facebook page and you ask, or the group, if you join the group, we can talk about that in there too.
So if I was going to put these registration marks on here, I would drop them in the middle of the design because you're cutting it out. And that way, one could be on the e-learning, one could be on the yellow, and then both of those could count for the gray.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that if you do this, you need to, and let me remove this.
Well, one could be down at the bottom on the yellow, and it would help you line up the yellow.
Yeah, I mean, you can put them where you want them.
And see, this way you could still have small batches cut out.
Right. You can put them wherever you want to put them. Whatever works best for you, depending on how you plan on cutting this out. And then if you're using vinyl, you have to weed all of that, and then you put the transfer tape on it and pull that off, and then you can put that down. But like I said, this one in particular is really pretty easy to line up, and we can do another class on working with multiple layers of vinyl. It actually, I have a class that we can do later this year about that. So I just want to keep shooting along here because we've got about a half an hour left, I guess, and I just wanted to show you that this is how this file opens up into Silhouette.